You're the Florida version of Sex in the City, JD.
That's when I was smoking my cigars.
Never stop chasing your dreams.
And never say never.
Don't be an asshole today.
Hey, it's Denise, and this is the Rainbow Remix, and JD is going to be popping in just a second. But we are fortunate enough to have with us one of the stars from Somebody Somewhere, which is a show that we obsess about any chance we get, JD and I. So please welcome Catherine Garrison, otherwise known as Trish.
Hi.
Hey, JD's just running a little bit late.
Okay.
He's gonna pop in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 type of thing.
Okay. Great. No problem. I'm trying to make sure you can hear me, right?
I can totally hear you. This is so great. Thank you.
Oh, good. No, you're welcome. No problem.
And for the shout out for our 200th show.
Yes. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Now we're up to 206. You're 206.
So are you weekly? Are you weekly or are you?
Yeah, we try and do it weekly.
Okay.
We always shoot for Wednesday, but half the time it doesn't matter. We'll do
I always wonder about, because I listen to podcasts a lot. I always wonder about like how people and their schedules and how they make it all work. Because some people are really consistent and some people are less so.
Yeah.
I would be less so.
It is such a level of commitment. I've been doing this since 2006.
Do you have another job too, or is this your main?
This is my main thing. I mean, I write a little bit, like I got a couple books out, but mostly this. And
Wow.
you know, I mean, I learned back in the day before people knew what a podcast was.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah, they were like scared of it. Like, oh my God, can I put this on my computer? Will it take up all my space? You know,
right.
stuff like that. And it's been like the technology has changed so much, and it's so much easier now.
Yeah, I bet.
The struggles that we went through in 2006, but you know, I had a 10-year run with my other show, and it was so fun. You know,
What was your other show?
the Lesbian Lounge.
Oh my gosh, I'll look it up.
It's old now, but back in our day, like we just skyrocketed, in like 2008 was probably our best year.
Well, I
Like,
feel like everything lesbian does because there's not enough of it.
yeah,
You know, like there'll be like
yeah.
a lesbian movie and you got to see it because it's the only one that you're going to see in years, probably, you know?
Yeah, and it's to see it in the theater, forget about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's some weird way to have to watch it, and I feel so bad. Independent filmmakers have such a hard time.
I know.
Really do. I have so many friends that are doing it. God bless them. Like they grind. You know, it's a grind.
Yeah. You got to really want to do it.
Yeah, it's the fundraising and all of it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and you're doing everything. You're wearing all the hats. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got to have you got to have all the skills.
all the skills, right? You know, or you're leaning on people. You know, can you do this for a donut?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I can't feed you this time, but I'll feed you next time.
yeah, exactly. It comes down to just that. But we started this show in 2021, I think, and you know we didn't find our footing until like 2022, early 2023, and then we started hitting with some good guests and stuff. But it's a different show than what I used to do. Like we were a bit raunchy and raucous, and it was going out live, and we didn't care if we burped or if we dropped the call, or it was just craziness.
You were live?
Yeah, in the beginning we were broadcasting live and recording it, and I was adamant that I didn't want it to be edited. I wanted it to just whatever
As is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my studio was in my one of my bedrooms in Florida. One of my guest room, we turned it into a studio, and we were in there with the litter boxes, and there were times when my cat would take a dump, and we would just rock through it. But we had like such good, we had Jane Lynch on the show. We had Taylor Dane.
Oh yeah.
We had the cast of the L Word, on and off, and
oh, I know. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm so tired. Leisha is one of my pretty good friends. Leisha and her partner Kim Dickens, and
yeah,
then I met Kate and her partner Anna.
Oh my God, like that. Yeah, it was so fun. Daniela C. I mean,
Yeah. Now
just
Daniel.
no, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I
Full
know.
transition. Yeah.
It's so I kind of lost track of those guys, but JD, she's popping in now, but she's a big listener of the Pants Pod with
Oh
the
yeah.
yeah,
They
yeah.
were going to have me on it. They never did. I'm going to have to bring something up to her about
Oh
that.
my God, yeah.
She forgot.
There's Jay.
That's
Hi,
nice.
how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Mary. I'm so excited.
Oh, you're so nice. Thank you.
When I
I,
told JD that I booked you in for today, she sent me back just like one line, Trish upon a star. That was it.
And I wish I'd thought of that. That was not me.
No,
that's
honestly,
great. Great.
we're huge fans of the show, but it being the podcast host, had to do a little digging, and it hit me when I was looking on IMDb that or DB and that you were on Veep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What a
That was,
go-to show.
it's such a good show.
It's so good. I can watch the whole entire series over and over and over again. And every time I watch it, I still find funny. I find things I missed every time.
Yeah. Because it's so smart. And I think her performance is, I mean, everything she does is a master. I mean, people throw that word on master class, but it
Yeah.
really, really is
Yeah.
lessons. Every episode is a lesson for me as
Yeah,
an actor. I think
I believe it.
she does it all. She does it all.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just watched the SAG Awards last night, like on Netflix, and she was the one that introduced Jane Fonda. And I looked at my wife and I said, any show that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is on, she has the best gown. You know,
Yeah.
like they do the who wore this, who wore that.
Yeah.
Always my
She
number
kills
one.
it.
She
She kills
does.
it.
She's fantastic. But what a great show to be on. Like I can't, because now that I'm living in London, Sally
Oh,
Phillips, is
oh,
all over my TV all the time. In any
yeah,
you put on any show, and you were bound to see at least a little bit of Sally Phillips.
yeah.
But all my favorites, and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, you were Sophie.
Wait. Who is Sally Phillips? Wait, I'm blanking.
She was the one that was like the Finnish um diplomat, or
Oh, yeah. Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, and she's always, like I said, always she's in every British show there is, pretty much. So I see her. But yeah, what a great experience that had to have been.
It was. It's a little bit different when you're a guest star on something, as opposed to or recurring or whatever they
Yeah.
said I was. It's different than when you're on the set every day with everybody and the relationships that you build that way. So you kind of feel like an interloper, like you're kind of sneaking in and doing your thing and then like hope I don't screw up anybody and then get out of there. So
Yeah.
I'm very honored that I got to be on a show like that. And I would have loved to have been on it more to get more of that feeling because it was the way that things were moving. The people they're so smart. Like the throwing. I remember one of the scenes where I'm in bed with Reed,
Yeah.
and Anna comes and she has to get an abortion. And I'm like, wear white pants or don't wear white pants or something like that. I think that's when but the guy behind the camera was just throwing out, say this, now say this. And they were just coming up with stuff. Like it was
Wow.
incredible. I was like, your brains are working real fast over there. I'm just laying there doing nothing.
You have to figure it. Like I had that feeling, and I think you're right about like when it's an ensemble cast, everybody gels
Hmm.
so much over time.
Right.
You're just like poking in, and it's just
But it's such a brilliant show.
yeah, one of my absolute favorites. But JD and I obsess over
Obsessed.
somewhere. Obsessing.
Oh,
My friend Judy was just visiting and she stayed over a weekend because we played a show together. I'm a musician. We play in a duo and
I was gonna say, with that hair, you better play an instrument. It is so rock and roll. I love it.
Yeah.
thank you. Anyway, thanks. So I said to her, we were looking for things to watch. And I said, have you ever seen Somebody Somewhere? And she said, no, what's that? And I said, you have got to watch it because the main character is just like my friend Kelly. Is
Mhm.
Samantha not like Kelly, Denise? Like
Very much
so
so. Yeah.
Kelly.
Yeah.
and invented that character. So my sister and I, we always say, it's Kelly. Someone knew her that made the show. So I told that to Judy, and we watched, I said, we'll watch one episode, and then we had to go somewhere. She binge watched the entire show from the first season to the last season for the rest of the weekend that she
Oh, I
was.
love it.
I love this show. And I think at that point, we didn't know yet that you were coming on the show. And then when Denise texted me, I was like, oh my God, Trish is on the star. I'm like so starstruck right now. I'm very starstruck. So,
Oh, that's so sweet. I mean, I
down.
wonder if I can get the some of the other people to do your show too. They're
Oh, we would
they're
love
all
it.
game. Murray, Bridget, Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh, we love that.
Yeah, I'll try.
We are working on Murray. Murray, I had Murray on my old show.
Mhm.
And I'm guessing 1,000% he's forgotten about it. But so we've reached out and he said, yeah, I'll definitely do it. But right now he's everywhere. He's in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
He's in Vegas. It's like, oh my God, try and find a way to slot him in.
Yeah, he's
Well,
busy.
Yeah.
The show was a great thing for him.
He's taken off because I said, I had him on, geez, I don't even know, almost 15 years ago, probably.
Oh, wow. God, he's been around forever.
Yeah. And that was just when he was doing gigs at Joe's Pub, it was, yeah. So
cool.
He's one. And Jeff, God, I love Jeff. I love Jeff so much. The whole time you're watching it, you're like, and I'm sure you probably hear this all the time, and people say it every time you say, have you seen somebody somewhere there? I could totally hang out with them.
Yeah.
Like I could be a part of that group,
That's what I get a lot of Instagram messages from people who say, all I want is a group of friends like that. That's all I want. And it's consistently people say that over and over and over and over. So there's something, I mean, Bridget and I have been friends for a long time, and we lived together for almost 10 years in Upper West Side, Manhattan. And so we have a relationship. If I had not met my husband, we would probably still be living together because we just had it figured out. We had it just down. In fact, the guys at the liquor store still ask about me because we were in and out of that place so much.
She's totally fun to hang out with. Is she as fun as it seems like she'd be to hang out?
It's I think the big secret with her, first of all, yes, she's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. And I like to say that she's always probably the smartest person in the room. And so that's why her humor is so, I think, profoundly good, because she's so freaking clever. But she's actually kind of a shy person. You might not think that with her performances. They're so balls out, and they're so, bawdy, and her tits are out, and, she's motorboating people and spitting champagne on everybody. But she's actually, and maybe, as we all get older, we might get a little more introverted, just don't have the energy for the same things we used to have the energy for, maybe.
Of course, yeah.
But she still is very fun to me. I miss her. I miss hanging out with her. I miss living with her, because we had a fucking blast. We killed it. We killed the Upper West Side. Murdered it.
Would you
say
that her character is in that was a lot like her? Because she was shy when she was with her security friends,
That's true.
So
I think she's become, or maybe she always was, I just didn't clock it back then, but she's got her, we and I sort of, I'm what you called, I think I'm an ambivert. I read is very extroverted, but it actually exhausts me, and then I have to go plug in and recharge. And I think she's a little bit of that, but more introverted than that, maybe, at this point. So I think that we've all got friends who are like security blankets, and so that's definitely hers, one of hers.
Yeah.
I love how you play the high-strung sister to her, low key, not even wanting to care about the job that she had, and then you're wanting everything to be so perfect. I just love the way you play that off, because I relate to your character, how you try to make it perfect and nothing ever ends up perfect like you want it to be.
Right. I think that's so funny, because I never knew that I was high strung or uptight until I saw the show, and I was like, oh, so I guess I'm that way too. I didn't know that. It's good to know. Thanks for writing that into the show, Bridget, so I get to learn it about myself.
That's so funny.
It was so fun though, that dynamic that we sort of started leaning into in especially the third season was just really fun for us to play. Because I don't know I actually don't know. Maybe that is how we really are. I don't know, but it's definitely exaggerated for television. I mean,
Of course,
obviously,
of course.
yeah. I'm a
But
little cooler than Trisha. Please know that.
it feels like so much, of the back and forth was so
Mhm.
off the cuff.
Yeah.
Like it was like you could probably know what you could improvise. Like what you could throw in there.
Well, we're more scripted than people think.
Really?
They
Wow.
gave us, I mean, these writers are incredible, and they gave us, all the leeway that we would ask for the most part, unless it did make sense, and we'd roll some things back. But it's more, there is some improv, but it's, for the most part, it's scripted. We just try to make it seem, that's that's one of my goals for acting anyway. I want to make it seem like we're making it up, because that's how people talk.
Yeah, it felt so
Right.
comfortable. I think that's
Yeah.
what the appeal was that, these were conversations and situations that people have every day,
Yeah.
and it really, like, it was so perfectly cast, even when you brought in Tim, Tim Bagley, he just slotted
Yes.
right in and fit right in with all his
Yep.
quirks and everything. And with him, he's in so many things, like you just see him in so many things, and so many in guest spots. He can play anything,
I
you
know.
know. And this part was so suited for him. It was right, down the line, perfect everything. It was just so perfectly right down to Iceland, you know.
Yeah. Well, Bridget had worked with Dari, who plays Iceland. She had worked with him on that Maria Bamford show,
Oh,
Lady Dynamite.
yeah.
And just they got along really well. And unrelated, Carolyn Strauss, who is, I think we're supposed to call her the fairy godmother of the show, but she's like a legendary producer, and she and Bridget are very, very close, and she was integral to everything about the show. Is a lot of it to do with Carolyn. And Carolyn randomly brought up how much she loved Dari as an actor, and so that's kind of how he became. Bridget was like, well, I know him, he's actually a friend of mine. And so they sort of started, I think, writing that for him a while back. And then Tim and Carolyn are very good friends, and Tim and Bridget and Carolyn are very good friends. They're part of this group of people, and this LA group. So, and then of course Bridget's known Murray for a million years. I've known Murray for a million years. And then Jeff knew Bridget and Murray a little bit, not a lot, but so there is like a definite shared history. So I think that
Hey, that
you can
helps.
feel that,
Yes,
Yeah.
100%, 100%.
Totally.
Yeah.
What made you want to be an actor? Like I mean, you got New York bones in you, you were on the New York scene. But prior to that, when you were coming up, how was that for you?
Well, we moved around a lot when I was young. So by the time I was 11, we had lived in 8 different places, all in the deep South.
Wow.
And so my dad wasn't in the military, but we moved around as though he was, and there's a lot of actors who were military kids. So I don't know if that's part of it, but I've always was like a visual artist. Like when I was little, I've always made art and painted and drawn and made anything I could think of. And we moved to sort of a suburb of New Orleans, and I found out about this creative arts high school. Kind of like, do you remember that show Fame?
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
had in my head. And I was like, well, I have to go. I have got to go. So I was naturally going to go in art, but I didn't have a portfolio, and like my time was too limited to make one. And I didn't write really, and I didn't play an instrument. I didn't want to do dance, and I just left theater. So I was like, what do I need to do? And they said I had to learn. They said, you need 2 different monologues. And I was like, what's a monologue? Never heard of that word. So I got 2 monologues and did them. And I went straight to level 2, and I haven't done
Wow.
anything else.
Wow.
That's all I've ever done. Yeah.
Oh my
You're a real
God.
natural. Was it living in New York City after living in places in the South? Was that like a culture shock for you? Because you don't seem like a New York City person, but you said that you lived there for so many years, which
Yeah.
is amazing because I'd love to live there.
Where do you live?
I come from Long Island. I live in Florida, in
Let's
South
say I feel
Florida.
like I hear your accent. You
But
got
yeah,
something going on. Yeah.
I was going to say, I grew up on Long Island, but the city was like, you didn't go into the city in the 70s. It was like unsafe, and
Right.
I moved to Florida when I was young, so I didn't go back. I just went back to New York City a year ago into the actual city. So
Mhm.
I thought, how cool would it be to live here? So to hear you say that, like, how was that experience? Did you really enjoy
Oh my
the
God. Yes. I mean, I'm not like I'm very adventure driven. So anything that's new that I haven't done before, I probably will want to do it. And so here I was, like, I just finished grad school, so I must have been 18, so I was 21, 22, and you're so stupid then. So, you don't really know enough to be scared.
You have
so
no
what did you
So,
yeah, no fear.
scared?
and
Yeah.
I had gotten rid of everything I owned because I was moving. My plan was to move to New York. And so I condensed everything I owned into 2 suitcases. And when I landed in New York and took a cab to my friend's apartment, the cab driver drove away with all my stuff. So I actually had a backpack
Oh
that
my God.
had, I didn't have I didn't own toothbrush or underwear I mean, I had nothing. I had nothing. So trial by fire with that one. But, you just muddle through, and you're young and dumb and hopeful and optimistic. And I
Yeah.
was lucky in that I started working, and I'm trying to think how old I was. I was in New York, and then I went back to LA. So I lived between New York and LA for 25, 30 years or something.
Oh my
So I was always one or the other. But I started doing a lot of Broadway. And so that's, kept
Theater
me
is the
there a
best.
lot.
I think theater is the best start
Yeah.
because you get instant feedback for what you're
Yes.
doing. You get the gasps, you get the applause, you get the laughs, it's right then and there. And
True.
yeah, it's
Especially for comedy, because it really is about rhythm and landing those punchlines, as silly as it sounds. And to have to do that live every night, sometimes
yeah,
twice a day, is just a true, like, crash course in how to be funny.
yeah,
So I feel like that's
true.
how, I learned to be funny out of, like, desperate fear, just volcanic
Yeah,
stomach eruptions, like just absolute sheer terror is
yeah,
how I learned to be funny.
yeah. And theater is I mean, it's one of those things that stays in your blood. Like you can be gone for however many years. Like I was a stage manager when I lived in Florida. For,
Oh,
yeah, for
you've
like
seen it all.
yeah, for like 7 or 8 years. Local, very like old Jewish community, type. The programming was just absolutely awful.
I'm dying. I feel
One
like I
musical a
know exactly
year.
what you're.
Yeah, it was just it was, but it was so fun, and I made lifelong friends, and
Mhm.
then being away from it for a million years. When I moved here my first year, I had a friend who was Sharon Gless, was her assistant, and she was workshopping a play here in London. And I had her on my show many, many times and went to see her do this same show in Coral Gables right before I moved. And
Sharon?
yeah, and
Oh,
and we met because having done the podcast a million times, then it's like, oh hey,
yeah, we're
and
friends now.
I was telling her after the play in Coral Gables that I was moving to London in a couple of months, and she goes, "Oh, well, make sure you get this play to the West End." And I'm like, "I don't know what that is, but will do it. I will try." And sure enough, the play got picked up, and they brought it to the West End, and her assistant got sick, and or no, her assistant's dad got sick, and she had to go back to the States. So she said, "Listen, I talked to Sharon, and the only person that she knows here is you. Would you help her out, and would you
Wow.
teach her?" Yeah.
I
So
know if I knew that part of that story, that
yeah,
part of
yeah,
Really?
the only person that
Deb
she knew.
left, and um, I got to shadow her for like one day, and then like you said, baptism by fire. You just jump in and learn what the fuck a PA is.
Yep.
Scheduling cars,
Now
scheduling
you know.
dinners. But watching that grind, um, and being back in the theater was just for me, it was like a breath of fresh air to be walking
Yeah.
backwards and being in the wings and all that kind of stuff. And I just remember being in awe because I think at the time Sharon was 71.
Wow.
Yeah, 71. And she was on stage the entire 90 minutes. She even does a costume change like on stage the
No,
entire
thank you.
Yeah. I
That
mean,
sounds so hard.
just in awe. And afterwards,
Wow.
stay till the very last autograph was signed and the last person would come up and share their stories and give her a hug and everything. She would always tell me, like, if I give you a look, you come and get me and say the car's here or whatever. And I'm like, okay, never got the look. Like she would just stay till the
She
end.
handled it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Incredible.
incredible, really inspiring. And anytime I get a chance, we went to go see a play called 2022 with Cheryl Cole over here. I don't think that's her name anymore. I think she just goes by Cheryl. I'm not sure, but
Oh, like Cher.
yeah, yes, exactly. She was like an X Factor winner, and she was in Girls Aloud. Like, I don't really know the culture here, but I
Hmm.
knew who she was, and my friend had tickets, and her friend was the stage manager, so we got to go backstage. And anytime I go behind a set or walk onto a stage, like after a show or whatever, you just get that same feeling. It never leaves you. It's crazy. It's like a
I
secret.
wonder. I don't know. I sort of I've said I'll never do a play ever again, ever.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I will. I really don't think I will. But I don't know. Like if I went to see a friend of mine actually just got back from London, from Paris, London, and York and stuff. And I saw my friend who's doing a show. I think it just finished. It's called Here You Come Again. It's a Dolly Parton musical. And I was like, I wonder if I'm going to feel anything when I go in there, like get a little bit of a, oh, I have
Yeah.
nothing. I was so happy to be in the audience. I was
Oh.
so glad it wasn't me on stage. I was just like thrilled for her,
Yeah.
really happy for myself too, to be in a seat in the audience. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I got really burnt out though. So that might be part of it. I might still
could
have a
be
little,
yeah. I
yeah.
still can't eat sandwiches because I worked in a deli for 15 years. So,
There you go. I can't have
Yeah.
Chardonnay because of this one night in college. So
Yeah, Southern comfort.
yeah.
We
Oh,
all, we all have our thing. Yeah, it's so true. But
Did you
it's
like playing being on TV better? You like doing a show better than being in front of the audience? Is it easier to get your timing and say your lines?
play with it a few times. Yeah, you get to run it back
Oh,
a few times. Of course, you do that in rehearsal too. So by the time you are in front of an audience, you've in theory, worked all that stuff out. But I don't know. There's doing a TV show can be tiring too, but this show, I don't know, this show was not work. It never felt like a job at all. I mean, really and truly, I was so excited to wake, and I'm not a morning person. And I was so excited to wake up at 5:30 and get on that set by 6. And, I was just thrilled to be there, thrilled to be around these people and say these wonderful words. And I'm so proud of it. I'm just so proud of the kind of show it was, the level of, I mean, inclusion and kindness. Like it's not a mean show. There's a lot of snarky, mean spirited things on television, and this show was the core of it was like a very loving, person centered show, and I'm so proud of it. And I'm even to the extent of how it depicts religion. I'm not a religious person. I was raised with it, so I was turned off from it in a lot of ways.
yeah.
But the way it depicts people's need for church and that specific kind of community and that specific kind of spiritual experience, I just thought was so generous and kind. And I feel like if you see church on TV, it's made fun of, and I'm usually all for that. But that taught me a lesson too, about me. Am I not being kind because of the way that I'm allowing? I am as being as judgmental as I'm saying these other shows are being. So anyway, I'm just proud of it. So it never felt like a job. And having said that, sorry, JD, I'm circling way back around now to your actual question. I forgot. But I do think I prefer television. And I like film too. Although film feels like it's changing. I don't know. Are people still making movies? I feel like it's all like
micro budget films
or just like 8 shows, like in one movie, and they'll just put it into 8 episodes, or something like that. But I do like camera work, and I like the community of people that you're with, and although you get that in theater too. I just think I got burnt out. That's probably all it comes down to.
I think having the luxury of, if you mess up, you get to go back again.
Right, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
that's
how I was
a
thinking.
luxury, definitely.
Yeah.
How was that
Usually,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I was going to say, when you guys did that last episode, like, was that so sad, like in real life for you guys? Because I know as a viewer, I was so sad the show was over. Like, I just didn't want it to be.
I was
Um,
sad that it was over, but I was happy with the ending.
the ending was
oh,
great.
good.
So
Yeah.
happy with the ending, and you can.
Tied it up.
It's so rare that you can say that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
something
true.
ended, and you're so mad at how it ended. You've
Right.
invested 4 or 5 years of watching something, and it
Yes.
blows the ending. So
Yeah.
that was. I was sad. It sounds weird. I was sad, but on a high note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
walked
know what you
around
mean.
singing "The Climb" for 3 days.
Uh, And I was just thinking about you guys as a group of people that worked together for all those years. Like how did that feel to know that you were going into that last show to
Well, we
film?
didn't know. We didn't know it was our last show.
Oh, you didn't know?
Oh.
No, we didn't know. I didn't find out until so the show came out in season 3 came out in December 10th. And I think in like maybe in June I found out that we weren't getting renewed.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
and not only that, but we also film, it's called crossboarding, where we sort of shoot out locations. So we'll shoot everything that's in Trisha's house, in one fell swoop. So when we shot that final scene where the climb, where she's singing the climb, that was on like day 5 or something. So it
Oh,
was way early on. And so we're still like
forget it's
excited to
filmed
be
out of
around each
order.
other and everything. What's that?
Yeah. I always forget that things are filmed out of order.
Yes,
Yeah,
very much so. I don't think it's always the case, but it's been the case of everything I've ever done. I've never done anything in proper order.
Right.
wow.
Yeah. So the sadness came. The last scene was Bridget and I. The first scene was Bridget and I in the Mexican restaurant, and then the very last scene was Bridget and I. And it was some of our drive. It was our like 3 driving scenes in a row, like where I'm passed out, I think was the last one, and she's crying.
Yeah.
And so I don't think she had any trouble getting her tears out that day because it was the
Oh,
end.
right. Yeah.
So, yeah, the sadness, then we had all these events that we did after the show. And so the sadness has been sort of just steady Eddie, like, oh, everything we do, it's like, we only got one more of these. Oh, that's the last one of those. And
Yeah.
it's a loss. Like you mourn, it's grief.
Yeah. It's a big hole, like
Yeah.
it's
Is it
crazy.
a rumor? I mean, I heard that there was a push, like a grassroots push for the show to come back. Was that just a rumor on social media, or is that true?
No, someone started that petition thing. I don't think that that's the kind of thing that would sway HBO the way that HBO operates now. They've got, it's all different. The whole paradigm is different now. So no matter how big our show is to a certain group of people, it's not like big enough for HBO to really be invested in, like it just doesn't make money like there are other shows. And I think that's where it's at.
It was the same thing with Work in Progress. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We had
Yes. Did she get 2 seasons of that or 1?
2. I think
2.
2. Yeah.
I think there might have been 3. Were there 3 or just 2? I don't remember.
I'm going to look it up. I bet you it was just 2.
Maybe.
We had Celeste on the show like right after that season aired. And she was the one who told us that it wasn't coming back.
Oh, really?
Oh, we were so sad. Yeah, we didn't know. But Cagney and Lacey got brought back twice, but I know it was a different time. It was back in the 80s. But right, Denise, didn't it come back because the fans
it got saved twice from a fan campaign? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. I just saw Abby McEnany. Is that how you say her name?
Yeah.
I just saw are the pronouns, is it she, her?
I think she's a they.
Okay. I saw them in a show recently, and she's a they. Is that what you said?
I said she's a they, and then I went, wait a minute, that didn't come out right.
Close enough. We're trying. We're doing our best.
Yeah.
I saw them in a show recently, and I was so excited that they're getting work. And it was a cool part too. And I was like, good for them.
Yeah. She Tracker. She's the
yeah, that was it.
The coordinator for him to take gigs and go find missing people. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. And I think in the beginning, in the first season of that, they were married or worked with their partner, and then the partner in the second season wasn't there, and I think they explained it as she went to take care of her mother or whatever. And so, but Abby's still in it. Abby's still carrying on, and I love the part. It's perfect for her.
And
What
it's
is
a
that
great
Damn it.
tracker.
Tracker. Yeah.
Um, the actor that played your dad, I
Yes.
like the way the writers handled that he went away and he was living his best life. Like they chose not to make him pass away. Was that like did you guys like talk about that? Like how you were gonna handle that, or how did
Well,
that
I'm not a part of conversations like that, but I know that they did talk about it. My understanding is that because the show is already so much about grief,
Yeah.
with losing Holly, and so
Yeah.
it just sort of felt like, it wasn't going to be helpful. It, I don't know. And there's something, everyone adored him. And I've said this before, but when someone passes away, people get like, oh, they get so hyperbolic about how incredible this person was, and even if it's not necessarily true, but it's true with him. He was so unaffected. He was so kind. He was so inclusive and generous and sweet and funny. He was just a delightful man to be around. And it's like you have all these assholes walking around taking up space, using up all this good oxygen, and then you have someone like that doesn't get to stick around. It makes you so mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, I mean, I have a list of people that I wish would drop dead. I'm sure we all do.
I
But
know. At this point, sure do.
at this point, the list is
Yeah.
long. It's a long list.
getting
But
long?
I gotta say, it's so fun following you on social media. Like, it's like I get the stuff that you'll
arrested,
repost
Denise.
or rethread.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to jail.
I've seen it, and I'm like, oh, she caught that. I can't even like give that to her. Like, she totally caught that. Yeah, it's
No, I'm already an angry person, so that's not helping me right now. But Mike was an angel of a man, and so I think part of it was that they loved the idea of him still being out there.
Yes.
so sweet. It's so
I
sweet.
know. I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah, love that.
It
Yeah.
was. And Judy, who was watching the show for the first time, because I've watched it several times, as you know, Denise, keep watching. You're my friends inside the TV, I say. So inside the TV, we're over.
Yay!
Yeah.
So Judy didn't know, and she's watching it, and I said, the actor that played the dad had passed away, because you see Bridget get the note, get the letter from him, and she said, oh, Dad, with his, of course you are, Dad, you made friends and whatever, and Judy was like, oh, like she also like felt what a nice way to handle that,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was
you could
smart.
really see you guys loved him as a person.
Oh, he was a treasure. He was a treasure.
Yeah. I think one of the most appealing things for me about the show is that it's it tackled things but not in a way that it was like crammed down your throat or shoved in your face.
Yeah.
The grief part, there was like you said, the church, being a misfit, like out in the middle of nowhere
Yeah.
and not
Mm-hmm.
having, people, and then finding these people and forming this incredible bond, it just came through so much.
They didn't hammer anything. No, nothing was beat to death. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. We talk about stuff all the time about, especially queer representation. Jay, what was the show? Oh, when they brought back the L Word, Generation Q.
Yeah.
And then they brought back, what was the other thing? They bring back a Queer as Folk, a new version of Queer as Folk.
They did?
Like,
Yeah.
It was, but it was like,
I think it was one season.
Watching.
yeah. But like we would have these conversations where it felt like they were forcing so much stuff into this new show, from having like just every different kind of person under
Everything coming together.
and,
Yeah.
yeah, and then
Everything.
throw someone in with a wheelchair and throw some,
And they're going to go with the trans guy. And then they're going to be, the trans guy's going to be.
That's what we were going
That's
like. It's like we
exactly
just
true.
went down a checklist and went tick, 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 tick.
And it took
Okay, we
place
can
in
start.
New Orleans.
Yeah. Oh,
When
Yeah.
I saw that Shane got together with a trans woman, I was like, I can't.
yeah.
That's not, that doesn't math out in any way. If you watch the first iteration of L Word, like
Yeah.
Shane's a lesbian, you know,
Yeah.
like, I mean, to each their own, do whatever you want, but it's like, you feel like you know these characters so well that some of these things just felt like,
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
You know, I'll die on the Shane and Carmen Hill.
Yeah.
Like that just
I believed it.
That would have just catapulted the show. You know,
Yeah,
like everybody was on board for that. And
I think we all liked every Shane scene though, right?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I was like very much a Tina. Like I loved Tina.
Oh,
Well, I mean, I love Laurel Holloman as it is because she's such an
Really?
amazing artist.
yeah.
She travels to all these shows at like Berlinale Festival and, you know, all these amazing, she has these huge installations and stuff all over Europe.
Oh, I didn't know that about her.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
Wow.
she was one of the first ones that said yes immediately to coming on the Lesbian Lounge. I mean,
Cute.
yeah.
Good for her.
You know, I don't think we ever did manage to get Jennifer Beals, but I mean, we got Eileen Chaikin and, you know.
What was the show where Abby played? I'm trying to think of it because we were talking about her, the producer of a show. She was like a high-strung producer, and she's like, it was another like a series, and she just was on it for a couple of episodes. And the person that was supposed to be on the show was part of the series, and she's like, I don't know if I want to come back today. And she's like, what do you mean it's your job? What show? I can't think of what it was now.
I'm looking for you.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I
Like
feel like
purple hair, and she was like a flamboyant. Yeah. Thanks for looking it up, Mary.
Oh, you're right.
Is
You're
it
right.
Roomies? I don't know. I don't recognize.
No, not Roomies.
It's gonna make me nuts now.
I know.
Oh, and Just Like That.
And just
And
like
just like
that.
that. Yes.
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 Yeah.
Thank you.
Another show
What's
that was
that?
ticking
You
boxes
are
like
quick with
crazy.
that.
Yeah.
Yes,
DB pulled up because Laurel Holloman was a formative movie for me. The incredibly true story adventure of two girls in love. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, like we said, like if there's a lesbian movie, there's like 5.
Yeah.
So you can see them all.
And that's one that's required, like to get your lesbian card. You're required to see that. Go Fish. There's a few that you have to check off.
Yeah.
Right.
To get your lesbian card. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. That's so true.
Desert Hearts. I always say Desert Hearts.
Desert Hearts, yeah.
Desert Hearts, of course. And then what's the one? Is it Swedish or Finnish? A friend of mine just told me about it, and we were like, "What? It's beautiful."
Oh,
Should I look it up?
She's gonna look it up in 2 seconds.
I guarantee you, what's her name? Mariah has probably told us about this.
Yeah,
We
probably.
have this little lesbian that comes on and she just blasts us with every lesbian movie out there for whatever holiday it is or whatever genre that we're interested in. And she comes up with these ones that are, like you said, Finnish or Swedish or like, oh, I'm sorry, never heard of it. What do you
Don't know it yet.
Critical lesbian.
Mariah.
What did you guys? I'm sure you guys see the Portrait of a Girl on Fire.
I did not.
Not seen it. Is it good?
It's beautiful. In blue, the blue is the warmest color.
Is it by that?
Both of these are French.
Okay. I think somebody told, was it Nick? Nick told us. I think Nick might have told us about that one.
Yeah.
I'm so mad. I can't find it. I'm gonna have to because I'm gonna like not pay attention to you guys if I'm just looking for this movie. So I'll email you when I find it. I'm so upset though. I'm upset for this movie because I want everybody to hear it. There's Desert Hearts.
Carol? Are you thinking of Carol?
No, this movie is Swedish.
Oh,
Swedish lesbian movie.
I really do. I'm Googling Swedish lesbian movie and then back out of that, clear your browser history.
Finnish lesbian movie. Norwegian lesbian movie. It's somewhere in that part of the world.
Foreign.
Well, I think it's called Kiss Me.
I think it is. I think I saw that. Yes. I didn't see the movie. I saw it advertised. Was
Wait,
it on
what?
Hulu or
I think you can rent it right now.
yeah, I think it was on Netflix.
Wait, say
Yeah.
the name of it again.
Kiss Me.
Kiss Me.
It's
Mhm.
That was Araya told us about that.
Tell
Yeah.
us about it,
Yeah.
right? It was
Yeah.
one of her
Nick would tell us
That
about the boy films, and Araya tells us about the girl films.
You got it coming at you from all the
Yeah,
angles.
we have regular guests that try.
Yes.
We need these younger
Yeah,
folks
we
to keep
cover
us,
it. We cover it.
we need the younger folks to keep us cool, because if not, then we'll just,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, you should see Blue is the Warmest Color and Portrait of a Girl on Fire.
Blue. I did see
Okay.
when it first came out, and
I liked it okay, but I mean, I feel like it's important. I mean, a man directed it, so I'm always like, well,
I didn't like what I heard about that director and how he treated them.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you see, you see it, but then you hear it afterwards, and I'm like, oh, I would have boycotted that.
But I know it said I saw it, but shit.
Yeah.
But the other one, Portrait of a Girl on Fire, is directed by a woman, and the woman and one of the lead actresses were a couple for a long time. So it's a real
I love
intimate
those.
sort of
Okay.
collaboration thing. So
That's great.
that's going to feel different.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like we were talking before JD came about how difficult it is to make, independent films, but it's even more difficult to make independent queer films.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And find a platform. But we've had a couple people on just recently. Anthony Hand has made an animated feature film called Maxi La Wow, and it's about a drag queen. It's about a little barista that finds a magical wig, and when he puts it on, he becomes a drag super shero, and it's family
That is-
friendly.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Friendly.
That
Yeah,
is precious. I love that.
I thought the genius part of that, Denise, was the villain that the superhero is saving the other drag queens from. This kid kidnaps drag queens for their tears because she discovered that drag queen tears keep your face young. So she
it's ready.
drag queens and she makes them watch sad movies like Beaches and Mask. All of the shows with the lesbian, the drag icon
Yeah.
women,
It's
And
great.
I
Genius.
It's so
Yeah.
innovative, and it's done so well. And I was looking at the schedule to see when they were coming to London, because I think it's this month. But they have been across the country in every independent or queer film festival, and it's
Wow.
just getting like such rave reviews. And that's the kind of stuff, like, that's their only way, to
Yeah.
get the word out. So like we're always trying to get those people, on our show and talk
Yeah.
about the film festivals. And what we had, the director of Out in Miami, Out Films, Mark, on the show, and to try and get people interested in going back into the theater and going to these film festivals, because there's no other way to see them.
Yeah.
Rent
True,
them or try and find them on a streamer, which good luck. I can't
know.
even remember what I'm watching on what platform anymore.
Me
It's
either.
ridiculous.
It's exhausting trying to keep
It
up.
is. It's terrible. It's terrible. But the thing I do love about it is because I don't watch news anymore. Like
No, me either.
just giving up on news. So I need something on in the background. So I either have like a podcast or some shit show that I'm binging on White Lotus now. I missed the boat on that. So I'm like, oh, cool. I got 3 seasons of this. I did the
What
same.
season are you on?
I'm on the first one.
I'm a voice in season 3.
Oh, are you?
I know Mike. Yeah.
No.
So yeah, I don't know if it's 2 scenes or 3 scenes, but that's kind of fun.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now I get to look forward to
Now we have to look for that. Yeah.
Just a voice. You don't look for it. Just listen for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
We'll know it. We'll
Okay.
definitely know
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
The
God,
nasal one.
I love it's motivation to get through it even faster. I really I wasn't really gonna jump on that. I didn't want to fall prey to the hype, but I'm such a huge fan of Leslie Bibb. Like, I just love her.
Oh, funny. Okay.
And she's
Oh, she's in season 3, right?
Yeah. So So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because I just need to fill the time because I'm not watching news anymore and
Yeah.
just binged
Can't
all.
sit in silence. That's dangerous.
Oh
There's,
no.
oh,
Yeah.
definitely not. There's an awful lot of murder shows on now. Like I
Nope,
can't
nope,
believe
can't do
how
that.
much of that
Oh,
is out.
that's how I relax. That's exactly
Yeah.
how I relax. I
Isn't that
fall
crazy?
asleep to murder podcasts. I pause my murder show right now to talk to you guys. That's
My murder show. That's
There's
amazing.
life is
so
me.
much of that. It's
I
so true.
know. It's
I
terrible, but
thought there was. I
That's
saw
so
this
funny.
thing that this like a meme joke thing that said, I can't watch a movie where the dog dies, but I watch murder shows to calm down and relax and go to sleep at night.
I may have written
100%.
that because that's exactly how I feel. If you hurt an animal, I'll hunt you down and kill you. But I want to watch how some relative got. It's terrible. It's
I
terrible.
know, it's the
I know.
latest.
Because you know what? The news doesn't cover that kind of stuff anymore. Not a
No,
little bit.
no, it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Like I
I
just
wish they
wanna
would. Jesus.
not want to hear the T word or the M word or anything about airplane crashes anymore. Like
Right.
I can't. So I'm looking to fill that void now with stuff, and I'm purposely trying to keep it lighthearted and find things with a lot of seasons that
Yeah. I
like,
wish I had a suggestion for you, but all my things involve women, mostly women dying for some reason.
no, can't do that. I mean, I
that's not.
made it through Parenthood, which I missed the first time around with Lauren Graham.
Oh yeah, it's an easy to watch show.
That was an easy one, and we're binging. My wife and I are both like big fans of the Traders, Traders, the show.
Oh, Alan Cumming.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we watch the U.S. one, but there's also a UK one. There's also an Australian one, and there's also a New Zealand one.
Oh wow.
Are they all different?
They're all the same, same concept. Everything's the same, except America is the only one that uses old reality stars. All the other ones used regular people.
Oh,
it's a different cast and different hosts and everything for all of the. Okay,
hosts are different. The casts are different, and what I love about the other ones is that these are just regular people. So you don't have preconceived notions about their personalities and their pasts and they've been on their reality shows or anything like that. So you really go in with like no information and you're playing the game with them, like it's so mind fucky. It's so psychological. It cracks
Are
me
you
up.
recommending it? Because I don't like reality TV. Do you think I would like it?
I know I hate to use the word reality TV and I don't want to use the word game show. It is just the most unique type of show to jump into,
Huh.
Yeah.
Did you watch Squid Game?
I did not.
It's just too violent, too subtitly.
Yeah, I can do subtitles.
what's the name? Which one did you say?
Squid Game. It's that Korean show.
Yeah.
JD.
No,
I know.
Listen, should I watch that one?
Mary, JD still
violent.
watches Sex in the City and the whole seasons of the old L Word. So
I do.
Me too. Well, not Sex in the City. I watch the L Word over and over, and well, that's it. I don't watch it. I don't like a lot of TV. I just don't. I can't watch network TV. I don't like reality TV unless it's murder. I like Dateline. I like 48 Hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I really sound psychotic. I'm listening to myself in this, and I sound like
you're gonna play this back and be like, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Should I see a therapist? You guys, tell me.
Like watching somebody somewhere? Like, do you like watching the show when it's like, say, the season is done and you go back and watch it, especially since you don't film it in progression? Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I will say I don't ever watch anything I've never watched anything I've done. Like I film it and I'm like, goodbye, and I never see it again.
I've heard a lot of people say that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just not, I'm not nice to myself, or I used to not be, I used to think you just sort of pick yourself apart, and that's not healthy or fun or anything. But this show, again, because I'm so proud of it and I love everyone on it, I love everyone else's performances so much that it's become a little bit of a comfort show for me. So not only can I watch it, I've watched it more than once.
Oh, which is fantastic.
A first. I know.
Well, I personally think you should give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah,
at least. Yeah. You're right in there with them. That like I said, everybody in the cast was so perfect. But I
You
just,
should watch High Maintenance. Have you seen that show?
no. What is that?
That's Hannah Boss and Paul Thurene, who are the showrunners for our show. This is what they did before our show.
Oh, okay.
So it's a different vibe because it's a similar vibe, but it's about this guy who delivers pot all around New York City. So you get like a real New York City vibe. JD, you might love that. It might make you feel like you're there.
I would.
And
yeah.
and every episode's like a different hero, like a different delivery. And it's just the writing is like our show. It's not TV-y, it's very natural and not, there's no like dragons or explosions or, it's just about life.
Yeah, there was so many, good, like feel good shows, that just didn't get there. Like we talked about Work in Progress and your show and Schitt's Creek. Like I can watch Schitt's Creek.
Oh yeah, that's another one. Yep.
And it's just, we just need more of those.
Yes, we do.
It's crazy because like I said, I missed Parenthood the first time around and I had it on. My wife came walking in from work and she was like, "Oh my God, why you watch this show is so old?" And I'm like, "Not really. It's not really old." But
old, Denise.
Again, that one was a feel good show, but it, tackled a lot of things of subjects I didn't know about, Asperger's and autism and, that kind of stuff. And that family, clan that felt good. Like, oh my God, like this is the perfect family,
and everybody's bathed in a golden light. Everybody looks so.
Yes. The house is amazing.
Yeah.
The homes are amazing. Yeah. So yeah, we definitely need more of those at this time. But I want to wrap this up just by asking you really quick. Did you have a good time in London and Paris? And
oh, I'm moving there. Get ready.
Are you? Come on.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know the actor Dennis O'Hare, but he's in some things that he did that. What was a vampire thing set in New Orleans with Anna Paquin and
True Blood.
Yeah, so he was on True Blood for a few seasons. He and I did Assassins together on Broadway, which is how I met him. And then he's been on the American Horror Story, like a couple of seasons of that also. He's a very accomplished actor. He's a brilliant actor, but he and his husband and their son moved to Paris when Trump got elected the first time. And so in my last trip to this trip to Paris, Dennis was working, but I saw his husband Hugo and I just knew I haven't been to Paris since I was in college, but I just knew I was going to feel the way I felt about it, which was, it's just so civilized. And anyway, I had a night in London with two of my very good friends, Tom Pye, who was a costume designer for Gentleman Jack.
Oh God, great show.
I know.
Great
I know.
show.
That's another show. I can watch that show. I've watched that show 600 times.
Love Sir and Joan. Yeah.
Yep. And what's the showrunner of that show? She did Happy Valley too, which is another show I can watch over and over again.
Oh, I can't think of the
Sally. It's something Sally Wainwright.
Sally Wainwright.
She's the showrunner of that, and she also did Happy Valley, which you guys should see. It's brilliant.
I definitely have seen that. Oh my God, is that Sarah Lancaster?
Sarah Lancaster. Yeah,
oh
she's
so
one of my favorite actresses.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
Oof.
Anyway. But I went to Shibden Hall. I did like a little Mecca and I got a day trip from York and took the train. It was closed, so I had to walk around the grounds. But I was there. I walked in the yard. Anyway, I'm actually, of course, my mom thinks I'm crazy and I feel like Cassandra, but I'm really scared about being in America as a woman right now, and so I'm really trying to get some sort of dual citizenship situation going. And
if you can, it's the ancestral passports are one of the easiest ones to get.
And I found an Italian relative. Italy is the only way to go. With all my relatives are, it's too far removed for any other country except for Italy.
Right. Oh,
I'm thinking of doing that actually because my dad was born in Sicily. So
well, you're in, girl. You are in.
Yeah, I don't know how. I was just talking about that a couple of weeks ago that I want to do that. I just have to figure out how. I mean, I
can send you a couple of links because I've been researching it for a while.
Gemma will walk you through it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I want to do it.
Gemma will totally walk you through that because she just did it for Deb.
Wow.
Is Gemma your wife?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Gemma an immigration lawyer by any chance?
She's this far from between my marriage visa that we had to get and jump through a lot of hoops to get.
Yeah.
And then I had to take a British citizenship test to
Yeah.
pass it to get my indefinite leave to remain. So we've gone down that road. And like I said, she just helped my friend get her ancestral passport for Britain. And we had another friend that did the same thing, but it was for Ireland. So yeah, she's walked people through this and she's helped them fill out the paperwork and she's told them what they need. And so
if you've got a grandfather or grandmother that was born, you're good to go.
Yeah.
You just have to be able to prove it. You have to find birth records and that kind of thing.
Yeah. For Deb, it was her dad. For my friend Joy, it was her dad that was born in Ireland. But JD, yeah,
I'm going to totally do that. Yeah, we've been talking about it. Do you have an Italian relative, Mary?
I have one. In New Orleans. He was an oyster man in New Orleans. His name was Dominique Bellamy. But most of my family is like French. Like I can go back to the 1605 with French vineyards in Bourguignon and Burgundy and stuff. So, but I don't think for France, you have to have be a grandparent or closer.
Yeah, immediate. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's ways. And I think that most of Europe is preparing for an influx,
Yeah.
Everybody talks about it all the time. And
yeah,
my friends are actually, their main goal is to get out of Florida, like they just want to move to a blue state as a launch into the next where should we type of thing. So I'm like, yeah. And I'm a nervous wreck I fly back and forth. My parents are still in Florida. So they're like, 20 minutes from JD. But I go back and forth every 3 months. And for the last 13 years, 14 years that I've been here, never had any concerns about it. And now I am terrified of flying. Absolutely terrified. Nothing is calming me down. Nothing,
Yeah, I know. I know.
If it's European, I'm fine. We're planning a trip to Glasgow to see Chelsea Handler and a couple of other, trips for my wife's 40th birthday is coming up. So, and I'm fine, flying all around Europe, but into the United States right now, oh my God, I'm gut wrenched with fear. It's ridiculous.
And I don't mean to make anything worse or do a pile on, but it's going to take what they've done, what they've reversed to reverse what they reverse is, a multi-year long process.
Definitely.
You don't just rehire FAA people,
You can't just hire someone. They've got to go through so much training and they're just letting these people go. And they're, these people that are working 70 hours, they expect them to be focused and sharp and, I can't. Oh,
it's hideous.
It's
hideous.
Well, we can, that's a whole other show.
That's a whole other, meet me in the panic room. We can do that show there.
Oh my God. This has been so much fun. I appreciate you taking time out of your
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much for
we'll let you get back to watching your murder program.
Well, I gotta make my son dinner. So the murder show time I have a little window I can watch murder show. So it was much healthier talking to y'all, believe me. It was so nice to meet you both, though. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
I'm getting the other guys involved too. So let me know if you want me to keep doing that.
I do. I do.
Yes.
You got my email address now. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Have a good night.
Bye, guys. You too.